Welcome to the Mamaverse, the ultimate self-care journey for every mom. So today we have guest Jen Landry, and we're going to be talking about finding trust in your body. Jen, you're a personal trainer. You're passionate about working with women and moms. Did you also want to do a quick introduction of yourself for everybody?
Sure. So yes, I'm Jen. I am the founder of Mom's Fit Life. And it all started because I'm a mom of two. I've been a personal trainer for 11 years now. And then after having both my kids, I had issues and various problems with both. And seeing a pelvic floor PT wasn't helping. My doctor wasn't able to help. So I kind of went down this rabbit hole of, in the personal training world, trying to fix myself. And when I came across this pregnancy and postpartum certification that I have now, I couldn't believe that there was so much information missing in health. And so I wanted to try and bring that out and help reach other women with it, because if I didn't know about it, and I'm in the fitness industry and I'm in this realm of health and fitness and recovery, and I didn't know, I can't imagine how many women don't know what is out there and how to help themselves.
Yeah. So at the Mamaverse, we're really here focused on bringing self-care and wellness at the forefront for moms, because taking time out as a mom can be difficult. And a lot of times we tend to sacrifice that to do everything else, all the things that moms do. So really focusing and allowing ourselves this time to do the things that we need to for ourselves and our bodies. So it says that you're also a kinesiologist, right?
Yes.
So can you explain a little bit exactly what that is for those who don't really know, including myself, not really that
Yeah, sure.
familiar?
It sounds way more complicated than it is, but it's just the study of human movement. So I went into, in high school, I was always into sports and everything, and I knew I really wanted to be in the sports world. I just didn't know exactly how, and I didn't want to do journalism or business or anything like that. And so I went into kinesiology because it gives you the wide range. So I took a class about being an athletic trainer, and I learned how to tape an ankle, and so a lot of my friends from kinesiology are now physical therapists. So you really can get the full gamut of how the body moves, why the body moves, and then how you can help with kinesiology.
Were you always into sports and athletics?
I was and have been and still am.
Yeah, what did you do and what do you do now besides, obviously working out?
So as a kid, soccer was always my first love and what I played since I can remember. And then I played through college. I played on the club team at the University of Maryland, and then I wound up tearing my ACL.
Oh no.
So that kind of ended soccer for me. But I also swam. So in high school, I was doing a high school sport every single season, and then I was playing for my club soccer team as well. So I was constantly in sports, and it was and even my summer jobs were swim instructor, sports camp counselor. I was immersed in sports. And now I'm actually trying to run a half marathon in every single state.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a challenge with the two kids. Now that they're a little older, I'm getting back into the swing of some regular running, but there was definitely some hiatuses with the kids. Yeah, so I've kind of continued to have a constant there.
Did you find it challenging as you became pregnant and just right after becoming a mom, trying to figure out how to, being a super active person to having to reprioritize, really, like time-wise, physically. Did you find that challenging?
I did. So, especially with my first pregnancy, I,
Shantae says, that's awesome. Go, mama.
thank you. So, with my first pregnancy, I actually did run a half marathon in the first trimester while I was pregnant with her. Uh,
Wow.
and then, but I basically had to walk the whole thing because at the time, keep your heart rate at a certain level, which I found out with my second pregnancy is kind of a load of crap.
Really? I
Yeah,
thought I was taught that too.
yeah. So it's more about I was getting my heart rate higher than that limit prior to being pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Body could handle being higher than that limit pregnant because I was
Mm.
there pregnant. So it's kind of like the rule of like whatever you were doing before, you can do while pregnant.
Mm.
So like if you were surpassing that limit a lot, then your body can handle it even pregnant.
Mm.
So it was kind of that whole thing. But I did have to kind of slow down and walk the whole thing. And then I actually wound up spotting with my first. And
Mm.
there's like, okay, you need to cut activity for 2 weeks. And then you can start again and see. And if you start spotting again, then that's it for good. No more for this pregnancy. And so at 2 weeks, I started working out again. But of course, like even just not pregnant, taking 2 weeks off is incredibly difficult to start again.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's like it's like you like interrupt your momentum, right?
yes.
Mm.
And like you're kind of now you have to figure out what your new base is because it used to be up here. And now after 2 weeks off, it's a little lower and you have to kind of figure that out. And trying to figure that out when you're pregnant is very difficult.
Mm.
And so then I got into another routine, and then I had to have an amniocentesis, and then I had to take 2 weeks off, and then it was like every couple weeks I was having to take 2 weeks off, and finally I just said, not in the cards. I'm just gonna have to stop, and it was torturous because that's my whole identity, and it was gone. And then I actually wound up with postpartum depression after my first, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was like, okay, now who am I? Because I can't
Mm-hmm.
out, and now I'm gonna have to take care of this baby, and now who am I?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really difficult. And then like with my second, I had debilitating back pain.
Oh, wow.
And so that's kind of what set me on that rabbit hole was the back.
Mm. Mm. What was like the first steps that you took to like kind of get back into, or like maybe not getting back into your routine, but like finding your new routine?
Um, excuse me. So after the first, it was just kind of like, I think I did what every mom did. Okay, I got cleared for working out. My doctor was like, I know you're a runner, so we're going to wait to clear you until 8 weeks just to make sure. And then I just kind of started again and just tried. And it was like, okay, when can I do it? Um, figuring out that schedule. And for me, it's always when the sun is still down in the morning, when everybody's still asleep. And so that was kind of the hardest part was just the schedule,
Mm-hmm.
finding the time to do it. And what can I do? Okay, if I have 20 minutes, what can I do in 20 minutes? Do I have an hour? What can I accomplish in an hour? But I definitely did not come back like fitness wise appropriately after the first, but I didn't know. I don't even,
Mm-hmm.
I might have had a diastasis for a long time after my first, and no one checked me. No one taught me how to check.
Mm-hmm.
No one.
Can you let people know what a diastasis is?
Yes, because every woman will have it while pregnant, no matter what. You have to make room for the baby. So in the center here, you have what's called a linea alba, and it will stretch out. It's just kind of tissue that helps bring your abs together, and it'll stretch out to make room for baby. And a lot of times post-pregnancy, some women it goes right back. You never even know. They've never have a problem. And then some, you might have like a 4-finger separation, or you might have a small separation, but your finger might go down real deep and tension there. And that's actually worse than the width. So having your depth be less is better, but it can cause issues with using your core. It might mean that your breathing pattern is all messed up. And none of that helps healing. None of that is good, you know, and that was part of my big problem with my back pain. My core wasn't working like it was supposed to. And part that I did have a diastasis and an umbilical hernia with my second. So it's just making sure that you can bring that. Again, you might have a 2-finger gap for the rest of your life as long as you can create tension between there and you have zero depth. Then you're still using your core appropriately and there's nothing wrong with that gap.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So how did you, from this, like, how did you eventually get into like personal training, or were you already
I was
personal
already,
training?
so
Okay.
I graduated college and within a year was working in a personal training studio.
Okay. Were you always working with like specifically women or specifically moms, or did that just come after your own mom journey?
Yeah, that came with the mom journey. I did work a lot with women though, because I'm not like your, oh, let's go for as much strength and stuff as you can. I'm much more
Mm-hmm.
trainer, which means I'm trying to train you so that we're going to mimic moves that you do on a daily basis, you know, and I'm going to help you be as strong as possible so that you can make one trip from your trunk to the house with all your groceries, and, you know, you can pick up your kids and feel good. And so I did wind up working with a lot of women just naturally, because I'm not sitting here like, okay, lift as heavy as you can for, you know, let's really make you this like weight room buff, you know.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
always more about like, okay, let's match your daily life.
Right, right. And I think just people maybe who are like just trying to get back in the gym could get intimidated by thinking about the gym like that and workouts like that. It's like, oh my gosh, like I have to go in a gym with like and try to lift crazy weights. Like, no, it doesn't have to be like that. It's supposed to fit your lifestyle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So the other
So,
thing too is like you want to make sure that like you aren't ridiculously sore every day. Like that's not the goal of a session. So
mm-hmm.
even my sessions and you can't go to the bathroom because it hurts to sit on the toilet, I'm
Yeah.
wrong. Like we do too much or whatever. So like
Yeah.
me, because I don't want anybody, now occasionally it happens just because the nature of a new movement or something clicks in, but like I'm not over here trying to like have you lift 50 pounds over your head.
Mm-hmm. Is your family super active together?
Yes, so my husband was actually running half marathons with me for a while, but
Oh, awesome.
kind of over it. Not not the long term plan. But yeah, like we actually ran a 5K with my 5-year-old. Every Sunday we try and go out for like a nice long family walk, and we take the dog, and so we try really hard to like make it part of the norm.
Right, right. Well, I'm imagining, setting this type of example for your kids that they're learning something from watching mommy like work so hard, and or both their parents working so hard and prioritizing fitness and wellness.
I hope so. I like my girls, they have yoga mats, and like I said, my 5-year-old, she brought like I'm trying really hard not to be like, okay, we're gonna go run this 5K.
Mm-hmm.
I want her to come to me and be like, I want to do it. And she's asking, she's like, when can I run my next race? When,
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah. And, she recently asked if she could lift weights with me. And there's nothing wrong with kids lifting weights. It's just making sure that their form's good. Like,
Yeah. My daughter does that too, and I'm like, oh, I think you have to wait till you're like a little older, or just like little baby weights, obviously, right? Like, yeah. I would love that. I have like a mini workout partner.
yeah, yeah, for sure. No, there's no real issues with kids, no matter what age they are. Again, it's just kind of teaching them the form now.
Mm,
When it is time to play sports or be in a weight room or whatever later, it's already like that muscle memory. They're in there, they've got it, you know,
Cool.
do.
That's good to know. So, Jen, what would you say like you're most like passionate about when you're working with moms and women?
Um, excuse me.
Oh, Shantae says that her 5-year-old son does that. Probably works out with her and
That's,
lifts lifts weights. That's awesome.
yeah, that's so fun. And it's just cute to watch too. So it makes the workout more enjoyable. So I guess my biggest passion is like, I know how miserable I was, especially after my second, and like the back pain, like I couldn't even put her in the crib
Mm,
and had to do it if he was home. And that was killer. Like that just broke me. Like I couldn't even lift my own kid into her crib because it would send me into a 2-week long back spasm,
mm,
or I would need help getting up out of the couch or off a chair. And so I know how miserable that some women be after pregnancy. And I just don't want to see anybody have to go through that. Or,
yeah.
and you know, it took me almost a full year to get rid of the back pain because the
Mm,
6 months was prior to me finding all this wealth of knowledge. And so if I can help people before that 6 months, you know, so that they're not going a whole year, I want to. I really would love to like have those success stories of like, it's all gone. I don't feel my back anymore. Or I
mm-hmm.
can with my kids without worrying. I'm not coughing and leaking. I don't need to buy pads to wear every day because like leaking is not a normal thing. It's common.
Mm-hmm.
But that can be fixed. Like we don't have to walk around thinking, oh, I'm going to wet my pants if I cough or laugh too hard.
Yeah, I still think that like 7 years later.
Yeah, even 7 years later, like be fixed so that you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, yeah. Do you like work with pelvic floor as well?
So I don't do like specific like what a pelvic floor PT would do. You know, they're going internal and stuff. My scope of practice, like I'm not supposed to touch, you know, or manipulate like manually. But I do discuss a lot about like, okay, make sure you find a good pelvic floor PT.
Mm-hmm.
Get with the pelvic floor PT because it is crucial. And like the information that they give me from that, I can utilize big time for workouts and progressions and exercises and stuff like that. And I do talk about, you know, making sure that like, okay, if you have a tight pelvic floor, you do X. If you have a weak pelvic floor,
Mm-hmm.
Y. And
Mm-hmm.
make sure that, you know, you're following the right path
Right.
stage you're in.
Right. I remember going to the gym and watching the trainer do like jump squats or something. Like I can't. Like I will just pee my pants if I do that or like skipping rope. Like nope, I can't.
Right.
But they don't know. Like I think it was like male instructors, right? So
Right.
they
Well,
don't know.
you know, again, even before I went
I
through the,
didn't know either actually. Like I didn't know pelvic floor was like
right.
floor therapy was a thing either.
Yeah, I had no idea until after my second. So I went through my whole first like with these blinders on and had no
Mm.
idea. And you know, a lot of it even comes down to like your breath work.
Mm.
A lot of times you can fix the pelvic floor issues or the leaking issues by working on your breathing. So like that is something that I can tackle and that I do tackle.
Mm.
World of difference because like when you're pregnant, so your diaphragm and your pelvic floor have to like kind of work together as you breathe. And as we all know, when we're pregnant and our babies are way up here and you can't breathe and your ribs are really expanded and your diaphragm is super flat, a lot of times that doesn't come back down.
Mm.
And so it creates a lot of pressure in the system between your diaphragm and your pelvic floor. And that pressure could be what's causing the leaking, or, you know, weak pelvic floor could be too, or a strong pelvic floor, just really tight could be. So there's a couple factors, but getting that breath under control and like really focusing and relearning how to breathe without a baby in your ribs
Mm.
can be a really big first step, even before the 6-week mark, which is
Mm.
whole nother.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just kind of an arbitrary mark. It's not really a real thing either.
Mm, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jen, tell us more about your business, your Mom Fit Life.
Yeah, so I'm actually relaunching a whole bunch of stuff and hoping to have it like good to go in May. But I have like a whole bunch of different programs that I'm starting to launch, and one of them is inspired by my back pain. Um, all about how to like, so it's going to be called Busting Back Pain, and trying to like help. It'll be an online program, a do-it-yourself, follow along, to teach you how to get everything right again and get rid of some of that back pain and help lessen it. And
Mm-hmm.
other programs, similar for different issues. And because again, some women, the only symptom is or issue is leaking. Some, the only symptom is back pain. Some, it's a combination. And so I'm launching a whole bunch of like online programs, and there's a Facebook group that people can join, and um, just trying to tackle and help with some of those symptoms, and keep it manageable where you could do it at home.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds awesome.
A lot of times the biggest hurdle is when you have to go to the gym, there's extra time getting to and from the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sometimes
And that cuts into like your workout. If you only have 45 minutes, it takes you 15 minutes to get there. Yeah.
right. So that's a huge barrier. So by being able to just crush it at home, you can really have more bang for your buck.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds awesome. I feel like a lot of women, and I know a lot of moms in our audience would find that very valuable to have resources.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need somebody to, like, you need to work on your back, but you like have no idea how to do it. You just need somebody to tell you, like, just follow this plan, like it'll help you. I'm like, okay, that's all I need. So, I know that a lot of moms will find what you're doing is very valuable. So, is there anything else that you wanted to share to the audience?
I mean, we covered so much.
Yeah, but
No,
really,
I guess like, if people have questions or something, but um, it's hard to
yeah.
everything. So
I encourage everybody who is watching live and the replay to go follow Jen. She shares a lot of great information for moms that are helpful for and realistic for us to be able to stay physically fit, and in a more like realistic and convenient way, like probably at home and things that we can do. So very thankful for that. And Jen, we want to thank you for joining the Mamaverse in our IG Live series and
yeah,
sharing more about your expertise.
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. This was fun.
Yes, and then I'll be in touch with you later, and then we can do some more like collabs inside the Mamaverse. So thank you, everybody. Go follow Jen, and if you're not already, sign up to the Mamaverse with the link in bio. And I will talk to you later. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.